This is the Brown Bears Sports Report with men's basketball head coach Mike Martin. Today's show is brought to you by Bay Coast Bank, providing exceptional service for our community since 1851. BSN Sports, Courtyard Marriott Providence Downtown, IBEW Local 99, The Perfect Refreshment, Coca-Cola, share a Coke this season, and by University Orthopedics. Here's the voice of the Bears, Scott Cordischi.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the first edition in 2026 of the Brown Bears Sports Report with men's basketball coach Mike Martin. I'm your host, Scott Cordischi. Glad you could join us for another season of Coach Martin's show. Our opening segment, as always, brought to you by Bay Coast Bank, the exclusive banking partner of Brown Athletics and Recreation, and a proud community bank serving the people and businesses of Massachusetts and Rhode Island. We are broadcasting live tonight on the Varsity Network from downtown Providence and Level 99 inside the Providence Place Mall, and we are happy to be joined by the head coach of the Bears, Mike Martin. Coach, how are you?
Scott, I'm great. It's great to be back with you for another year of the show. It's great to be here at Level 99. What a exciting, cool place this is, and always happy to talk some Brown hoops with you.
Yeah, I'm glad to kick off another season of your show, Coach. We're in the midst of your basketball season, but the very beginning stages of Ivy League play, and we'll get into that in just a moment. But this is my first time here at Level 99. Cool place. The best thing I could say, it's like an adult playground. Like, there's a lot of fun, interactive stuff to do.
Yeah, no doubt. We had the team and a lot of the other winter athletes were here just about a week ago when we came back from Christmas break.
Yep.
And, the place took great care of our student athletes, and we're thrilled to be here tonight.
All right, Coach, let's talk a little basketball. Your team, as we sit here today, 6-8 on the season. You finished the non-conference portion of the schedule last week at 6-7 and played your first Ivy game, lost to the Yale Bulldogs on Monday. We'll get into that game in just a moment. But I guess through 14 games on the 25-26 season, just give us your 30,000-foot view of how you think things have gone.
Yeah, work in progress, and we're still obviously trying to put all the pieces together. But I've been pleased with the improvement since November 7th when we opened up the year against Siena and had a hard time scoring the basketball. I think we've really grown as a team. I think we've grown offensively, we've grown defensively, and we're still trying to mold everything and get everything working, the way we want it to be, to operate at the very highest level it can. But I've been really pleased, and I think we talked about this a little bit earlier. I've been really pleased with the intention of our team in terms of really trying to do what we ask them to do, right? And really trying to execute, whatever's being emphasized that day in practice or in that drill or in a specific game. And, it's always a balance, Scott, to try to find, okay, guys, here's some information that can help you out there, but we don't want you to think about it too much and overthink and take away from your talent and trusting your instincts. So, we've got a young group. We've had a lot of freshmen play some, key roles this year. And, I think that we're forming an identity of what can be a great defensive team and an offensive team that really shares the ball, has done a decent job taking care of the ball, and is going to continue to generate good shots.
Coach, you just used that word identity, and I was going to ask you, what do you think this team's identity is? And more importantly, do they know what their identity is? Because I've heard Mike Vrabel throw that around a lot this year up in Foxborough. He said, really what he attributes to success is we know what our identity is, we embrace it, and we play to it. And I agree with you. I think right now the numbers would tell you and your eyeballs would tell you your identity is you're a good defensive basketball team, and that's where it starts.
No doubt about it, and I think our guys embrace that. I think they believe it. I think that they live it every day with the work they put in practice and trying to build, great habits. As you well know, this is a game where offense and defense are very complementary, right? And to steal a line from my good friend Kim English over at PC, offense and defense are married, right? So, like, when you run good offense, it helps your defense. When you play good defense, it helps your offense. I think we're still in the stages of our offense needing to probably grow at a little higher rate than the defense. I think the defense is ahead of the offense for sure.
I think one thing you did the other night against Yale on Monday, particularly in the first half, was I think your good defense led to good offense. In other words, you were able to get out sometimes in transition or get up the court quickly, if you will. Field, I haven't switched from football season. Get up the court quickly and maybe get some good offense or some good open looks as a result of good defense on the other end.
Yeah, I think about Dabo's dunk. I think about Adrian had a layup where he got fouled. I think we need more of that. When Yale's a tough team to turn over, they're one of the best in the country at not turning the ball over. Now, we did turn them over 15 times, as we talked that night and in the days since. Our defense was good enough to win the game. Our offense wasn't. So, I think, when we're at our best and we celebrate, our culture plays, a lot of times it's defense to offense. It's, doing all the things that, we want to do and be true to that identity we talked about.
Would you say that when you talk about the offense isn't up to maybe where you would like it at this point, is it more you're not getting enough quality shots, or you're getting the quality shots, you just got to make more of them?
It's a balance. I think leading up to Monday night, our offense had made great strides, and obviously we took a long layoff, right? So hopefully that's part of the rust we had the other night offensively. Yep. Is we hadn't played a Division I game since December 9th, right? So you go from December 9th to January 5th. That's a long time, and obviously we had a long time where we didn't even practice. So. Yeah. I do think our offense has grown. Certainly there's no coincidence. Our offensive numbers have gotten better, with the return of David Rochester and Landon Lewis. But even before that, I think we've shown, that our offense can generate good shots. We had a lot of new guys in new roles playing together for the first time, the first few games. And, I think that probably made for some struggles. But, yeah, we the other night specifically, first off, Yale has to, they deserve some credit for the defense they played. I think our screening and our cutting and our ability to use screens could be better. I think our paint decisions, wasn't great the other night. A guy like Samson Alaton, who protects the rim the way he does, probably changes your paint decisions. And then, sometimes we ran great offense. We got really good shots, and they didn't go in. And they were from guys that we wanted taking those shots. So of the 33s we took, there's very few where I looked back and was like, yeah, that's not a good shot. Yeah. We only made 7. We got to make more of them.
Right. You mentioned the lengthy layoff. Obviously, after the Providence game, you had the break for exams and then the on-campus tragedy, and you addressed that after the Johnson and Wales game, which you hadn't played in 22 days, and the guys hadn't been on the practice court together in quite some time. What was it like when the guys return, and is there kind of a, I don't want to call it a sense of relief, but is there something cathartic about returning to your normal routine, right? Getting the guys back together, getting them on the practice floor, them being together off the floor, that type of thing.
You know what, Scott? I think, what we've tried to, just emphasize and share with everyone is that recovery and healing is going to be different for each individual, right? And I think, certainly for me, getting back out there with the guys was very helpful, and I think for a lot of the guys it's been helpful, but I think everyone's timeline's different and recovery and healing looks different for each individual, like I said. So I will say that being back on the court December 27th after not having been out there prior to that, December 12th was our last practice. I think it was a great feeling just to be together, right? And just to be able to huddle up and put our arms around each other and have that, strength in numbers and community. So, in terms of the basketball, we were rusty. Our fitness level wasn't where it needed to be, and we're still kind of working through all those things, I think.
Coach, I've watched a lot of Ivy League basketball, maybe more so this offseason than ever before, and I got to tell you, this league is really good again. And not that it hasn't been, but I look at this league, and obviously you faced a very good Yale team the other night, but I look at every other team in this league, and I see what's going on, and there's not going to be any easy nights or any nights off in the Ivy League. I think 1 through 8. This is about as competitive as I have seen it.
I think I would agree with you, Scott. I mean, I'm obviously we're knee deep in Penn preparation right now, and that's a big, skilled, really well coached team that is elite offensively and is big and strong and tough on the boards and incredible defensively. So we have our hands full going down to the Pleasure this Saturday, but I have been able to see some other teams in the league as well. And one of the great things about our league, especially this year, I think there's a lot of different styles, right? There's two new coaches in the league, and obviously they bring two new systems, and there's a lot of different ways that people are trying to play. And obviously we have our identity, we have our style. You think about a team like Cornell and the pace at which they play and the way they play offensively. Penn is different from Cornell, but wow, their offense is just really hard to guard. It's going to put you in a lot of challenging situations, and you got to really lock in to be good defensively if you want to have success in this league, and then also run complementary offense at the other end.
Yeah, you talk about Penn, and I wanted to get into the Quakers a little bit. That will be your next opponent Saturday at 2 down at the Palestra in Philadelphia. They lost their Ivy opener at Princeton, a game they led by double figures in the first half, and then Princeton went on quite a run. They scored, I think, on 16 or 18 consecutive possessions at the end of the first half, beginning of the second half. But watching Penn, it's exactly the impression that I got, Coach. Fran McCaffrey's teams, and I think they've always done this, right? Going back to his Iowa days in Siena, they run pretty good offense.
They do, and they play with great pace, right?
Yep.
So, and I think I mentioned this, speaking to some media earlier today, they also have a lot of holdovers from Steve Donahue and his staff, and I think they were really hard to guard as well. They ran really good offense. So it's like kind of these two, influences on a team, and Fran and his staff are doing a great job. They play with great pace. They share the ball. They're really good with how random they are. You think about that word when it comes to basketball. The more random you can be, the less pattern offense you can run, the less predictable you are, and the harder you're going to be to guard. So that's going to be a huge challenge for us. Not to mention they have an all-league talent like Ethan Roberts, who torched us twice last year. They have a transfer from Duke and Virginia, and T.J. Power, who's 6'9" and has guard skills. And they've got a lot of other experience and new talent around them that they've beaten 2 Atlantic 10 teams already. They beat St. Joe's, they beat LaSalle. They should have beat Rutgers. They had that game won, and unfortunately for them, kind of got taken away from them at the end. And they gave George Mason everything they could handle. So, you think about when they've played up this year against the Big Ten and the Atlantic 10, they've been really, really competitive.
Yeah, you talk about playing up, Coach. I thought your team played well against Providence College right here in downtown Providence. And, maybe you make a couple of more shots here or there, and who knows, you don't have a different outcome in that game. But I thought your team played well against the Friars that night.
I thought we missed some early shots that we normally make in that first half. We ended up shooting really well in the second half, obviously led by Luke Paragon. I thought the defensive rebounding in the second half kind of hurt us too, right? So, But I agree. We were right there. We had every opportunity. And, obviously when you play against a team with the talent of PC and, with what Kim has done, you've got to be not perfect, but close. You can't have some of the breakdowns and mistakes that we had.
I think a lot of people, myself included, looked at your roster this year and said, maybe the strength of the Bears, it starts with the front court. You've got the experience of Landon Lewis and Famata Dabo and all that they've done. And then, David Rochester contributed a lot in his first year, and you expected him to take that next step. Even a guy like Wyatt DeGraff, who we saw improve as a freshman at the end of last year in practice, maybe not in games. You still feel that way, that is a big strength of this team, your front court and the front court depth you have? And I even mentioned a freshman, Charlie O'Sullivan, who can shoot it.
Yeah, who's got great skill, shooting, passing, and rebounding. I think, but I will say, our guards have really, come on, and they've developed, and we can talk about any of those individuals as well. But, I think when you look at our front court, not only do you have, the kind of the 3 guys that, headline the group, their versatility, right? So Landon and Dabo and David are all very good individually, but they also bring great versatility and can complement each other really well. And we even played, the 3 of them together a little bit the other night, with David playing some minutes at the 3. So, but I will say that our backcourt, obviously, led by, JJ and Adrian and Malcolm, who will be on, with us here tonight, I think they've all taken major steps forward, not to mention Luke's development and obviously the impact of our 2 freshmen, Isaiah and Brady.
Yeah. Since you started with JJ, what a quantum leap in terms of his three-point field goal percentage. I want to say he was 14% at the end of the season last year, and I don't know if he's still in the 40s, but he was in the 40s going into the Yale game. Is that a young man that worked hard on that aspect of his game during the offseason?
For sure, but not limited to that. I mean, I think just everything about him. He's just more confident. I think his decision-making's been really good. He leads the league in assists. He leads the league in steals. His on-ball defense, and his off-ball defense has improved as well. But just like overall, like he's a coach on the floor, and that's what you want from a point guard. Like he's an extension of us. The great thing is that when we play him and Malcolm together, we have 2 point guards out there. You have 2 of your smartest IQ players on the floor together, and that can lead to some really good things for us. So, yeah, JJ is, that's what we thought when we recruited him, right? He's going to be a guy that runs your team and, can, get other guys shots. He finds a way to get people the ball on time, on target, when they need it, where they need it. But I've been thrilled with his scoring development this year.
You mentioned Malcolm, and I love Malcolm's defense, but offensively too, love his mid-range game because it's to a certain extent a lost art in the sport of basketball. You don't see a lot of guys that have a great mid-range game. He gets into that paint, 15 feet, 14 feet, 10 feet. He can hit those floaters, little jumpers, fadeaways, in addition to getting to the rim.
Yeah, no doubt. And he's, what I really appreciate about Malcolm is, just he's willing to do whatever it takes for our team to be successful. And him and Adrian have really settled into a role where, like, they're 2 of our best players and they come off the bench. And, I love having that. Like, you can trust that they're going to come in and they're going to impact the game at both ends. And I would tell you Malcolm's probably been our most consistent perimeter defender this year. His length, his size, his understanding. We can put him on a shooter. We can put him on a guy who's a little bigger and trying to post you up. We can put him on a guy who's initiating offense, and he has the ability to do great things defensively and even off ball, like his positioning and his ability to get deflections to take teams out of what they're doing. It's been probably under the radar, huge importance for us this year.
And Adrian's a guy I know you were excited about coming out of the preseason. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if those numbers changed. I talked to you toward the end of the preseason, and you said he was your leading scorer in practice.
He was, yeah. Now, and that included up until Landon's injury against UMass, too. Yeah. So, Landon and Adrian were kind of 1-2 all the way until Landon got hurt against UMass. And, obviously you watch Adrian, you see his confidence growing, you see his talent. It takes everyone different, it takes different amount of time for people to really find, where they can thrive. And we had him in the starting lineup early, and he had some good games. But he's really excelling now as an instant offense off the bench. Great defensive spark who can, initiate the break, turn defense to offense, and obviously shooting the ball with great confidence. And, I'm really excited for what he can do the rest of the year.
When you talked about Luke, is Luke a good example of a guy that, patience, work hard, and maybe eventually you get your shot, and he's taking advantage of it?
For sure. I mean, you think about, who he was playing behind the last few years, guys like, Chemo and Keno and Felix Coleman and Aaron Cooley and Lindell, and I'm sure I'm missing some others. But, you got to, obviously, if you earn it, it's going to come, and it comes at different stages for everyone. Obviously, Luke had some improvement to do at the defensive end of the court. He and I talked about that. He knew that, and I'm just really pleased with how committed he's been to improving at that end. And obviously his superpower is his ability to shoot the ball and get it off quick and get it off from deep range. And I love the confidence with which he's playing on offense right now. And another great example of great attitude, great work ethic. He gets better, right? Yeah. And he has his teammates and his coaches believe in him.
And you mentioned the freshmen earlier. You never know what to expect when freshmen come in. Are they going to play right away? Are they going to make an impact right away? Or are they going to have to maybe be a little bit more patient? And you've had some pretty good contributions from a lot of your freshmen this year. We talked about Charlie a moment ago, and then Isaiah and Brady, and even a guy like Jonah, too. I know he's had limited minutes, but you've gotten contributions from that freshman class right away.
Yeah, it's a good class, and it's a good group of 4 guys. They're all a joy to be around, and Jonah gives us a ton of great things in practice every day that maybe the average fan doesn't see. The other 3 guys have had a chance to really impact us in games, and obviously we're really excited about the future for those guys. They've got a lot of improvement ahead of them, but I think they all have great potential to make big impacts on this program.
All right, Coach, heading down to Philly tomorrow to play Saturday at 2. Good luck against the Quakers, and Pleasure to be back with you on your show, and look forward to doing this every Thursday.
Thank you, Scott. It's a pleasure to be with you.
All right, that's the head coach of the Bears, Mike Martin. We'll take a break, and when we come back on the Brown Bears Sports Report with Mike Martin, Malcolm Wrisby-Jefferson and Adrian Uchidiuno will be our guests. We'll continue with more of the show from Level 99 here in Providence right after this.
All right.
I'm not him. Sorry, guys. I'm not him. I'm not Jack.
Up top, let me Jack. Up top. Over here, just one more. One more before you.
Because a car that doesn't make you feel recognized is a car that stops short of amazing.
It was here. G4. Okay, no. It says.
Because any car that doesn't offer the confidence that it will find you is a car that stops short of amazing. You gesture, the world responds. Any car that doesn't offer that sense of control is a car that stops short of amazing.
For the big, for the small, the short, and the tall. Peacemakers, risk takers. For the optimists, pessimists, exhibitionists. For long distance love. For the farsighted, nearsighted. For introverts and extroverts. For the thinkers and the doers. For old friends. Coca-Cola. For everyone.
We are the change makers, the rebels, the champions. To be a bear is to possess brains and brawn. To be a bear is to have an insatiable hunger to win, in sports and in life. We are indomitable, unshakable, and unstoppable. We don't just play the game, we change it. Our style is not for everyone. We buck the status quo, we push the boundaries, we think and play outside the box. We are innovators, trailblazers, and leaders. We take our work seriously with unparalleled focus, unmatched humility, and unequaled joy. We are an uplifting community that empowers self-discovery in a way that makes everyone better. All on a campus that exhibits an inspiring spirit of creativity and collaboration. We are the Brown Bears, ever reaching, ever curious, ever resilient, ever true. Together, we roar.
Being at an Ivy League school, it certainly is.
Mike Martin live from Level 99 here in downtown Providence. Scott Cordischi with you in this portion of the program, brought to you by Rhode Island Medical Imaging, the official MRI provider of Brown basketball, with 14 MRI locations statewide. Rimmy's specialty trained physicians and patient-focused care are in your neighborhood. And joining us on the show right now, we got a pair of juniors on this year's team. We have a junior guard to my left from Queens, New York, Malcolm Wrisby-Jefferson. Malcolm, how are you?
I'm good.
Well, thank you for joining us. Let me just pull that mic up so we can hear you better. There we go. And then we have a junior from Markham, Ontario, also a guard, Adrian Uchidiuno. Adrian, how you doing?
I'm good, Scott. How you doing?
Doing great. Well, thank you both for joining us. Appreciate it. This is always a fun time in that you don't have to worry about classes, right? It's just kind of basketball and hanging out with the guys. So a little bit less stressful, right, than having to deal with, classes and work and tests and exams. So always a fun time to be together.
Yes, sir. It is. Always is.
All right, guys. We're 14 games into the season. Malcolm, I'll start with you. Give me your take right now on this team, where you're at and where you think you're capable of going.
I think we're in a good spot right now. Obviously, yeah, it was disappointing, but I feel like taking game by game, control what we control, I feel like Penn will be a better outcome.
Adrian, how about you?
Yeah, no, like I agree with Malcolm. I think we're just a team that's just working every day, trying to get better, and just trying to just stack days in practice and do things like that will ultimately lead to a better performance come Penn this game.
I don't know if you heard Coach and I talking in the first segment, but if you didn't, I'd love to get your impression. If I say to both of you, what is the identity of this basketball team, what would your answer be?
I would say defense. I think that side of the ball is probably the best side that we play on, and like I said, we're just a team that really digs into like being in the gap, teams that really have good help defense and that guard the ball. And like we have a quote, like we have a saying in our locker room, guard your yard, and that's something that we do every day. And I would say that's probably the best part. Like that's our identity.
Would you agree with that, Malcolm, or would you describe it differently?
I would definitely agree with Adrian. Defense is definitely what we've shown. Definitely something that we've been great at this year. We definitely dig into teams, trying to be more physical than teams, and try to will our way defensively. I feel like that's our identity.
Coach talked about the importance of the roles you guys have kind of morphed into here as the season has gone on, and that is coming off the bench and giving the team a lift, giving the team a spark. Can you talk a little bit about that? Look, some guys want to start, and my answer is it doesn't matter who starts the game, it's who finishes the game, right? But just talk about the difference between maybe being in the starting lineup, as both of you were, and coming off the bench and having to be ready to come in and provide that lift that coach is looking for.
Like I was saying before, just trying to come in the game, control what you can control your effort, just try to be as efficient as possible, because there's no like you get the feel of the game, you're coming right in and everybody's already started the game, right? So it's just trying to come in and be as ready as possible, and also just trying to be connected with the guys already out there, right? Like they have already been playing, or like they've come in. Me and Adrian usually come in at the same time, but just trying to have that camaraderie and just try to come in and just be ready to go.
Adrian, what's it like for you?
Yeah, no, it's fun. I mean, I feel like coming off the bench is like exciting. It's like you have the opportunity to add to the game, or if you're down, then contribute to coming back. And I just look at it as like coming to the game and being a spark, bringing energy, trying to get stops, run out in transition. So that's how I look at it, like just being a spark for the second unit.
You know, you're a guy that I think really elevated his game during the offseason, and I think, did you maybe see an opportunity there, right? A guy like Keno graduates, you lose Cooley, you lose Lindell. So not that you weren't playing last year, you were, but you knew that you were probably going to be stepping into a bigger role and relied on more heavily this year.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think I give credit to the coaches. They did a good job with me this summer, like having me stay here and work on my game, get stronger, get bigger, and really just like focus on thinking the game more. Because I always felt like I was someone that like had I guess the talent to play at this level, but then I wasn't really putting the pieces together with like IQ wise and understanding the game. So I give credit to the coaches this summer. We really worked on that, like really focusing on understanding the game and becoming just a better basketball mind.
But watching you in practice and in the games, you're someone that looks like he's playing with a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah, no, I agree. And it just goes back to like just putting in work in the summer and then every day on top of that, just stacking days. And yeah, now it's like now knowing that I put that work in, now when I come onto the court, I'm looking to show that work and just, like I said, help the team win.
Malcolm, last year, I don't know when it was in the season, but you kind of got inserted into the starting lineup, and it was right around the time that, the team started to respond, play better. What I love about you is you're a guy that really knows and embraces his game, right? I said to Coach earlier, the mid-range game is kind of a lost art in your sport. That is your game, man. You from 15, 14, 10 feet and getting to the rim, I mean, that's what you do, and you do it well, right? Do you play to your strengths? Do you know, hey, this is my strength, I'm going to play this way?
I mean, yeah, just trying to find my spots on the court, just trying to find where I'm most effective, and my teammates give me confidence, my coaches give me confidence. So that's yeah. I just try to play to my strength, try to help the team as much as possible.
For a point guard, too, you have tremendous size and length. That is an advantage for you, too, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It definitely helps. Definitely helps a lot. A lot of deflections, a lot of being able. I'm bigger than most guys. I'm taller than most of the point guards. So I'm able to use my size, which is definitely helpful.
You know, you had the good game scoring-wise against URI. I think you scored 14 against the Rams down in Kingston. But I remember a stretch you went on in league play last year. It was like a 5-game stretch. You averaged like 13 points per game. You shot ridiculously well. I counted up the numbers, 29 of 44, like 66, 67% during that stretch. Do you remember that stretch like three-quarters of the way through the Ivy League season? And what do you remember about it? And you know, what allows players like yourself to get into a rhythm, get into a groove where it just seems to come easier to you?
It's just get into a flow, just not thinking, just playing the game. I think that's the main thing, definitely. Just playing, just not even thinking about the game, just going out there and just performing. I feel like that was what I was thinking about during that stretch.
So, Adrian, how do you do that, right? Play without thinking. Because Coach mentioned that in the first segment. He said, you know, we want to give these guys numbers and structure, but at the same time, you don't want to become paralyzed. Because if you're thinking out there, it's not going to go well, right? You need to play on instinct as well, right? Yeah. So how do you do that?
Just have fun, honestly. Like, I just try to come into games and just think about, like, have my music going, listening to, like, whatever on my mic, and just having fun with my teammates, like, joking around, laughing. And then when the game starts, that's when you lock in and you really think about, like, okay, what do I have to do to execute? I practice these plays over and over again throughout the week in practice, and I know what I have to do. But it's just coming in with a relaxed feeling of, like, I'm prepared and I know what I need to do to help the team win.
Have you guys at all kept in touch with any of your former teammates, Dell, Cooley, Keno,
sure.
Nana?
Yes, sir.
Yeah?
Yes, sir.
And so I know Nana's doing very well out of Grand Canyon. Yeah. Like, he's averaging almost a double-double, right?
Right.
Pretty much for them.
Right.
Is Keno still in London, in Surrey?
Yeah.
Is Surrey playing?
Yes.
Yeah. He actually had a good game a couple weeks back, so shout out Keno. That was way to hoop, boy. But yeah, no, I'm happy for them. Like Nana too, like you said, he's averaging a double-double. He's someone that like really taught me how to like work and what it means to be in the gym. So to see him do that, I and also get a Brown degree, like good for him.
Yeah. And what about Dell and AC? Dell was playing in. Was he playing in China?
Yeah, he was. He was also. I think he's about to go overseas. So shout out to Dell. Hope, good luck on his journey.
Yeah.
We talked to Dell often. AC's with the Cavaliers.
That's right. He's working with the Cavs. Yeah, one of our many guys in the NBA, which is kind of cool too.
Exactly. Different route, but always find a way with basketball. The ball can take you a lot of places. So definitely kudos to AC.
So when you see what all these guys are doing, and you think about it, you're a year and a half away from graduating from Brown yourself. Have you given thought to what you want to do after you graduate? Would you like to continue playing professionally here, overseas? Would you like to maybe stay in the sport like a guy like Aaron has and, you know, some of our other former players, or want to do something completely different?
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, like, if all goes well, I hope that I'm still playing basketball and I'm a pro somewhere. But like I said, like if it's not that, then like I would definitely love to be around the sport for sure. Like whether it's something like AC's doing or coaching or anything, whatever it could be. All I know is that like I definitely want to be around basketball.
And Mal's still with the Wizards too, right?
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. We just got Trae Young, by the way.
Did, exactly.
Yeah. What about you?
Shout out to you.
I definitely want to keep playing. I feel like I got a lot of basketball left in me. Definitely looking to play professionally. And if something else comes up, I'll definitely look into it. But definitely my focus is trying to play professional basketball.
Adrian, I got to ask you this question. You are from north of the border, Canada,
yes,
where hockey and lacrosse are the two most popular sports up there. You've been playing basketball since you were little. I mean, were you into other sports?
Yeah, no, I actually played hockey. Hockey was actually the first sport that I played, like, growing up. I played that, like, grade 1 to grade 5. And then I got into baseball a lot, and then I ended up playing baseball in the summer and then playing basketball in the winter. And then it kind of got to a point where it was becoming too much for me, and I kind of decided to stick with what I was better at, and that was basketball. So.
How about you? Would you play multiple sports as a kid, or did you always know that basketball was your number one?
I did. I played baseball. It wasn't for me. Soccer wasn't
too slow or what?
It was definitely too slow.
Yeah.
I was out in Alville just not doing it. You know what I mean? Or like it was just definitely it was too slow. Soccer it wasn't for me. I just knew I picked up basketball at 5, so once I picked it up, I felt like I knew this was my sport.
When you guys aren't playing, do you watch a lot of basketball? Like, are you fans of the game,
Yes,
or do you try to get away? You do?
Yes,
Do you watch a lot of college, a lot of NBA, or both?
Honestly, a mixture of both.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of whatever's on. I mean, I have ESPN Plus, but I try to just tune in where I can, just to pick up some pointers.
Are you a Knicks fan, being from New York, or who's your NBA?
I am a Knicks fan. I support the Knicks, but my team since I've been young was Oklahoma City. So I've always been since I was probably 8, 9, I've been an Oklahoma City fan.
Like, I'm trying. Was Harden and
Kevin Durant?
Yeah, they were still there. Okay,
yeah, exactly.
Right.
So
what about you?
Yeah, I've never really had a team, and I'm really not trying to hop on a bandwagon, but I really do love the way the Spurs play basketball. Like, it is really fun to watch. So I'd probably say that's my team.
Yeah. So college, have you watched a lot of your Ivy League teams, like your opponents?
Yeah.
Like, I've watched probably, like I said, more this. I always watch it, but I've watched more this year, I think, than I ever have going into league play. I think the league's tough this year. I don't think there's any nights off. Like, I think every team is good.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think every team's good. Like, Yale's been really good these last couple of years, but I also think Harvard's having a good year. Penn's going to be a good team to play against when we play them. So, like you said, every team is not going to be tough. And then also, we're a really good team too. So I'm looking forward to those battles and seeing what comes of those.
All right. So during this downtime, when you don't have to worry about classes and stuff, so it's just practice for a couple hours, or maybe the weight room here and there, and just hanging out with the guys. What do you like to do with your downtime? Now, I know Paragon's a gamer, but what about the rest of you guys?
I'm also a gamer. I was actually on the game with LP yesterday. So, playing the game. Yeah.
Xbox or PlayStation?
PlayStation.
Are you a gamer too?
I'm a gamer. I'm not on their level. I don't play as much as them, but I like to watch a lot of movies and like TV shows. So I'll just do that.
Right, what's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Can I do like 3?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd probably say Uncut Gems was really good. Rocky, but like Rocky 4, and then.
Have you watched all the Rockies?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive.
Then, maybe Paid in Full.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
What about TV show? Like, is there a favorite TV show that you've binged or?
Oh, Power. 100%. Power is really good, and you guys might not notice, but Succession is good too.
Oh, Succession. I have to watch that.
Succession is really good.
I'm glad you said that because I had a bunch of friends that you got to watch it. So I watched like 1 or 2 episodes with my wife, but she didn't like it, so we stopped watching it. So I just got to go back on my own and watch it.
Very underratedly funny, like very funny. Yeah, Sal knows.
All right, I'll take your advice. You got any favorite movies or TV shows, Malcolm?
Home Alone, Rush Hour. Martin's my all-time show.
I assume Home Alone is your favorite Christmas movie then, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Rush Hour. Friday. My mom was also big into like movies. My dad is a movie fanatic. Like, parents love TV shows and movies and stuff like that. So I grew up watching whatever you could think of. So, yeah.
All right, tomorrow we get on the bus and head down to Philadelphia for your game against Penn on Saturday at 2. Without giving away any game plans, just in general, what do you guys have to do to come home from Philadelphia with a win?
Again, like I've been saying, control, we can control. We've been preaching on that this whole week. Obviously, shots don't go in, but that's the reality. Just control, we control our communication, control our effort, and I feel like we have a great chance.
Yeah, I would say the main thing is just defend the ball, get up, attach, like do things that are our principles, and then just run. just outrun them and then execute on offense and just do stuff like that. And we'll have a good chance to win the game.
All right, guys, thanks for joining us on Coach's Show tonight.
Thank you for
Good luck
having us.
Saturday in Philadelphia.
Thank you.
All right, Malcolm Wrisby-Jefferson, Adrian Uchidiuno, our guest here on the Brown Bears Sports Report with Mike Martin. We're live at Level 99. When we come back, we're going to be joined by some members of our women's basketball program when we continue right after this.
For well over
I'm not him. Sorry, guys. I'm not him. I'm not Jack.
Up top, let me, Jack. Up top. Over here, just one more. One more before you go.
Because a car that doesn't make you feel recognized is a car that stops short of amazing.
It was here. G4. Okay, no. It says.
Because any car that doesn't offer the confidence that it will find you is a car that stops short of amazing. You gesture, the world responds. Any car that doesn't offer that sense of control is a car that stops short of amazing.
For the big, for the small, the short, and the tall. Peacemakers, risk takers. For the optimists, pessimists, exhibitionists. For long distance love. For the farsighted, nearsighted. For introverts and extroverts. For the thinkers and the doers. For old friends. Coca-Cola. For everyone.
We are the change makers, the rebels, the champions. To be a bear is to possess brains and brawn. To be a bear is to have an insatiable hunger to win, in sports and in life. We are indomitable, unshakable, and unstoppable. We don't just play the game, we change it. Our style is not for everyone. We buck the status quo, we push the boundaries, we think and play outside the box. We are innovators, trailblazers, and leaders. We take our work seriously with unparalleled focus, unmatched humility, and unequaled joy. We are an uplifting community that empowers self-discovery in a way that makes everyone better. All on a campus that exhibits an inspiring spirit of
Basketball coach Mike Martin. I'm your host, Scott Cordischi. Glad you could join us. We are happy to be joined in the final segment of our program by some members of our women's basketball program at Brown University. And sitting to my right and to your left as you watch us on YouTube is the head coach of the Bears, Monique LeBlanc. Monique, how are you?
Hey, I'm great, Scott. Thanks for having
Well,
us.
thank you for stopping by and joining us, and congratulations on the win over the Bulldogs.
Thank you.
All right, and to my left, to my immediate left, we have a senior forward from Beverly, Massachusetts, Alyssa Moreland. Alyssa, how are you?
Great. Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you for joining us. And to your left, we have a senior guard from Vienna, Virginia, Grace Arnolie. Grace, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Well, thank you all for joining us. Congratulations on the win over Yale. Coach, I'll start with you. It was a tightly contested game, and then I thought in the second half your team did a good job of just kind of taking over, thanks in part to the two that you brought with you tonight. I thought they were just terrific.
They were terrific, and the team, I feel like, was calm the whole way through. Obviously, we didn't start the way that we intended, and things were a little just like shaky, I think, at the beginning. But what was great was at no point did there seem to be any panic out there. Everybody stayed dialed in and continued to play really hard, and just wanted to make adjustments and make some changes, and I thought had a great response in the second half.
Alyssa, I thought there was just a period there in the third quarter where you just said, okay, it's go time. I think in like a 8-minute stretch, you had like 10 points and 2 rebounds and just kind of took control of that game.
Yeah, that was great. It all kind of blends together in those games. I don't really remember any specific, 8 minutes. I just remember either being tired or feeling good in those minutes. But I just think in the third quarter, we really came out strong. And we're kind of becoming, strong coming out of the half, really talking about the things that we need to improve on and being direct and focused on those.
And how great is it for you to be back after, dealing with injury last year and to come back this year and healthy and just playing so well so far?
It's been amazing. I'm super thankful every time I get to step on the court. I remind myself that for practice. And then especially games, it's just a blessing to be able to play with my team and be coached by these coaches and just have the experience I've always dreamed of.
Grace, not enough superlatives to describe your play since walking through the Van Wickle gates as a freshman. 3-time All-Ivy, and I am certain you will be 4-time All-Ivy honoree this season. But your senior year, hard to believe that you're heading down the home stretch here. I mean, almost 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I feel like Alyssa said, just so thankful for the experience and really looking forward to finishing it out strong. But, I mean, I've just had a great time with my teammates, my coaches. I feel like we've built a really amazing culture in our program, and it just makes it so fun to just step on the court every day for practice, and especially those games.
Whatever's been asked of you, you've done it, and you've done it at a high level. And this year, maybe something a little different in that, the addition of somebody like Chuck getting you off the ball. It's been kind of interesting for me as a fan to watch.
Yeah, it's definitely been new coming in, not knowing exactly what my role would be and kind of falling into that point guard role and bringing the ball up and running the plays and everything, and now stepping into a new role, like you said, and having that that player like Chuck who's been doing a really amazing job as a freshman, just getting our plays set up and all that, and it's been giving me new looks off ball, and I've really appreciated the opportunity to kind of get a new perspective and be able to approach the game from a different angle, and I think that it's been going really well, and I'm excited to keep doing that.
Coach, can you talk about that? I mean, her ability to adapt to those different situations.
Yeah, she nailed it. When she came in as a first year, we weren't super clear whether she'd transition right into a point guard role or be an off-ball role, and it's one of those things where you want to get your players on the floor that are going to help you win and not be restricted to, well, I always kind of saw her as this position and we already have someone in that position, and just kind of seeing where she would emerge. And it was clear that Grace would be really comfortable playing any of the guard spots, and we really needed a point guard at the time, and she was ready and willing to play that role. And she's a great scorer. I've always loved coaching scoring point guards, and I think that she is a scoring point guard, through and through.
Yep.
And at the same time, too, sometimes in the point guard role, they're just doing so much to set break the press, get the team set up, run the plays, find the openings. And she's also such a great shooter that even before having Chuck this year, in seasons past, we would try to brainstorm, how can we get Grace a little bit of an easier look? She's doing a great job creating and getting downhill and finding her teammates, and she's such a great shooter that we also just want to get her some catch and shoot looks as well.
Yep.
So I think that's been nice that there's another creator out there that can also find her, and I think her teammate sitting right next to her here, Liz, has been great finding her out of the post as well, and that's similar to a guard driving it in and kicking it out. That's coming from the inside out after a post feed. And so, yeah, I've really liked some of the looks that she's also getting off ball. And she also is still playing point guard a lot. You know, the other night she was doing that a lot as well. So it's great for her to have that versatility. And I think the flexibility of having her and Chuck out there together, or just one of them being able to, I told this story a couple of times, but I promised Grace at the end of last season that I would be better about finding her breaks. I don't know if I'm doing a great job there yet, but it's nice to know we've got that option.
Yep.
So yeah, it's nice to have that flexibility and go with the lineups that are working.
And how about the senior season that Alyssa's having? I mean, she has been a double machine, and I don't know what the number is now, 6 or 7, could have probably 9 or 10 at this point in the season, but That's been really fun to watch.
Well, yes, we absolutely love a double-double machine. She is one.
Yeah.
I think it's 10.
Career. I think 10 career.
Okay.
I don't know what it is this year.
I don't know how many this year, but it's 6 double-doubles, but it could be more. You've had like a few games where you've been 1 rebound or shy, but that's because Coach took you out and didn't give enough minutes. She wasn't looking at the stat sheet. Come on, Coach.
Well, no, I saw that, and I thought she might be frustrated with me, but I also wanted to get her out of the game 5 minutes prior, so I thought it was a good compromise. And by the way, I think that 9 rebounds was in 12 minutes of play.
It was against Wheaton. I think you're right. I think you're right. Next time, just miss a layup so you can get that type of rebound.
Me bound, yeah, we love me bound.
That is my fault. What's really fun about coaching Alyssa, she's such a talented and natural rebounder. So we've had a couple of film sessions where we're watching game film, and I'm showing the team of her not getting a rebound, and it's nice to be able to pick on a kid that has 13 rebounds, and you're pulling up the one that hey, this should have been your 14th. But she's a leader, and she has high expectations of herself, and knows that she's capable of that. She's done that several times. So yeah, she's really fun to coach.
Alyssa, it says a lot about you too. Coach was telling me a story the other day, and I hope I'm not speaking out of school, but with all that you've done, and you are filling the stat sheet, you're averaging 14 points per game, 8th in the league, 11 rebounds per game, 1st in the league, 2.9 steals per game, 1st in the Ivy League, and you were almost apologetic to her for your performance at the free throw line. And
yeah.
I think Coach, kind of the Cliff Notes version, she said to me, if you're doing all these other things, don't worry about it. I can live with that.
Yes, she definitely said that. But I think that's just the perfectionist in me, I would say. And, I was telling Grace the other day, and I was like, we came off this great win, and I just don't feel like that's the best I could have done personally. And she was like, yes, but we have such high standards for ourselves. Of course we're going to think that. And, Coach Mo and I had a great conversation. I'm putting in all the work I can be on it. It's now down to just doing it, and focusing on it. And, like we say all the time, just not thinking about it, doing it like I do, shoot 100 and get 88 out of those, just like I do in the gym.
You said the key words, don't think about it,
yeah.
right? Just have a routine, go to the free throw line, 2 bounces, bang.
Yep, exactly.
No thought. That's it. She talked about expectations. What are your expectations for this team? I look at you, and I've watched a fair amount of your opponents play this year in the league as well. I think you can be and will be an Ivy League tournament team this year. You've lost on tiebreakers the last 2 years to the Penn Quakers. But give me your thoughts on what you think this team is capable of this year.
I mean, I 100% agree with you. I think we can and will be an Ivy League tournament team. I think, like you said, those past couple years have just fueled our fire even more. Being so close but not getting there, it just makes you want it that much more. And I think that we've shown how much we want it by the work we put in every day in practice, in the film room, in scout, in the weight room, and in our games. This team wants it so badly, and I just think that when the time comes, we're gonna convert on all of that work we've put in, and I'm really excited to see it. And it's been super exciting to start Ivy play, because that's when we can really start showing what we've been working on for the past few months, and how much we care and how much we really want it. We were just talking in a film session the other day about how we genuinely are all bought into our goal. There's no lag. We as a team are extremely committed to our goal, and I just can't wait to see that come to fruition.
So, Coach, needless to say, this is a big game at home against Penn on Saturday. Talk about that, and then maybe talk about the league as you see it. I think some mild shockwaves were sent through the league when Cornell won at Columbia this past weekend.
Yeah, and I think we're going to continue to see more scores like that, and that's also something that I think is great about this team is I think probably last year playing Penn, it felt like this is going to be, our tiebreaker team potentially, and maybe we were thinking too much about down the line like that. I think this team is very much like we have a game this week, and we're trying to win this game
in the moment.
And then the next week we have 2 games, and we're going to have to prepare for 2 opponents, and we're going to attack each game separately, one at a time. I think this team understands that we have to just focus in on the game right in front of us, not scoreboard watch, not think about what games everybody has left and going through scenarios, because I think it's going to continue to be a really competitive Ivy League season. And I think as long as we keep staying focused on ourselves, we're going to get ourselves where we need to go.
Coach Martin and the guys said earlier when I asked them, what is your team's identity? They said it starts with defense. Would you agree that that's the same with you? I look at your numbers. Second in scoring defense in the league, first in opponents' field goal percentage, first in opponents' three-point field goal percentage, and then a huge leap in rebounding. Like the rebounding numbers from past years to this year, quantum leap. You're number one in rebounding margin in the league. But what would you say, I want to hear it from your mouths first, what would you say your team's identity is?
I say it's got to be defense. I mean, we hear it every day and, in practice, and, are reminded no matter what the drill is, we have to keep working on our defense, even if it's an offensive drill.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. And not only defense, but those kind of fundamental things that underlie our defense, like toughness, grit, effort, communication. I would say that those are really core to our team and really important to us, and those just definitely feed into our defensive intensity.
Coach, what is your team's identity?
They said it well. I think that we want to be a team that can always lean on our defense and know that we can continue to impact games and not ride the wave of shots going in or not. But I also think this team has come a long way with our offensive efficiency and execution, and some of that is with experience and building trust and familiarity with teammates. And I think all of the newcomers and underclassmen are also doing a great job with that. And so that said, it's great to be a team that's really rooted in our defensive identity and knows that, defense can travel and we can continue to impact that throughout the course of a game and throughout the course of different runs and momentum shifts.
Kind of a side question. Are we watching Ada kind of become the old Ada again, getting more healthy and better game by game, week by week, coming off of that awful injury?
Yes, I think we are. It's been really great, and Ada and I have talked as she's been, in her return to play progression, and some of those earlier games, she would agree that she had just maybe had a handful of practices, and so, those minutes weren't what she was used to and probably didn't feel the way that she remembered them feeling early. And we had a couple of conversations about that's going to come, and it's just, some things you can't make up for time, and we just needed a little more time, more practice time. And yeah, her progression has been really steady, and it's been great having her as what her teammates I think would describe as like an extra defender out there. She's really natural and has great instincts there and has helped us generate a lot on offense as well.
Grace, Alyssa, you're both seniors. What are you concentrating in?
I'm concentrating in sociology with a focus in organizational studies.
Business economics for me.
Okay, and do you know what you want to do after graduation?
Yeah, I have a job lined up back home, so I'm going to go back home, live back with my parents for at least a year or two, I think, and work there. I'm going to do consulting.
Oh, congratulations. Put some money away while you're living at home.
I know, that's why I'm doing it.
Good for you.
I will also be living at home with my parents. I'm going to be working at State Street in their professional development program.
Oh, congratulations.
I'm very excited for that, and also saving money is the goal.
Yeah. That's awesome. I'm so happy that you both have jobs. What will you two miss most about Brown?
I mean, it has to be my teammates. No, we were just talking about this, like, nothing's ever going to feel the way that, playing on this team has felt. It's just been the most amazing experience, so rewarding, not only, with the wins, but with just the, relationships we've made and the lifelong friends that we've gained from it.
Yeah, it's the real small moments that come to mind for me. Like, every day in the locker room after practice, when we're just, exhausted and we just sit there for 30 extra minutes because we're so tired.
Yeah.
But just like those memories that you can't find anywhere else, and it's crazy. It's almost over, but trying to enjoy every second.
It's so funny because I hear that now from so many of our student athletes, and it's awesome that the little things they recognize how much they mean. Just little stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like that's what they're going to miss the most.
It's so true, and they were obviously we played at my alma mater this season, and there was a little bit of like the memories that like just so quickly come back, and I'm several years out, but like I'll joke with them all the time, like we only got less than a year left of these moments, that moment, an underclassman took like one of Lys's elbows in practice the other day. I'm like, listen, you only got like a few months left of catching Lys's elbows. You know, I know they hurt now, but you'll miss them. So yeah, this senior class, I mean, we have 2 right here, but the entire group of 6 has just made a tremendous impact, and they're going to be tough to replace.
Well, to all of you, good luck against the Quakers on Saturday, and thank you for joining us on the show tonight.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Scott.
Thank you.
All right, Grace Arnolie, Alyssa Moreland, and Coach LeBlanc, our guest here on the Brown Bears Sports Report with Mike Martin. My thanks also to Coach Martin and the guys for joining us as well, Adrian Uchidiuno and Malcolm Wrisby-Jefferson. My name is Scott Cordischi. Have a great night, everybody. You've been listening to the Brown Bears Sports Report from Learfield.
This has been the Brown Bears Sports Report with men's basketball.